Hello friends, in the series on the income tax cases, today we will discuss a very important judgment on the definition of capital asset which is given in section 2 clause 14. The title of the case is BIPINBHAI V Patel versus Income Tax Officer, and this case has been reported in 107 ITR Tribunal, short notes 63. The matter has been decided by Honorable ITAT Ahmedabad C bench and the date of the judgment is 13th October 2023. In this case, a very pertinent issue was before the ITAT that if an assessee who is a partner in a firm gets some amount for the relinquishment of the partner share in the firm, whether this amount comes under the definition of capital asset which is given in section 2 clause 14. During the previous year, which is relevant to the assessment year, the assessee received an amount of 70.38 lakh for the relinquishment of his share in the firm. It was the viewpoint of the assessee that the right in a partnership firm is a capital asset, and since the period was long, so the assessee treated it as a long-term capital gain, and for taking the exemption under section 54F, the assessee invested an amount of 26.52 lakh and calculated his exemption. When this matter was for the assessment before the learned assessing officer, the assessing officer denied the exemption under section 54F by saying that the relinquishment of the assessee share in the firm is not a capital asset, and hence the question of long-term capital gain does not arise and the assessee is not entitled to section 54F exemption. When the assessee moved to the CIT appeal also upheld the order of the assessing officer by saying that the relinquishment of the assessee share in the firm is not a capital asset. The assessee moved to the ITAT, and ITAT, by analyzing the definition of capital asset which is given in section 2 clause 14 and which says that capital asset means property of any kind held by the assessee, whether or not connected with the business or profession, but does not include stock in trade, raw material held for the purpose of business or profession. So from the definition itself, it is very clear that the definition of the capital asset is very wide because it means property of any kind. So the right of assessee in the share of a partnership firm seems to be very much in the nature of capital asset. So accordingly, the ITAT held that in the present case, the amount of rupees 70.38 lakh which has been received by the assessee on the relinquishment of his share in the firm is very much in the definition of capital asset, and the assessee will be entitled to get the exemption under section 54F if the assessee has invested the amount in the residential property subject to fulfilling of the other conditions of section 54F. So friends, this case is very important for all those partners who get the amount for relinquishing their share in the firm. So it means that that share comes into the definition of the capital asset according to this judgment of the Ahmedabad ITAT C bench, and if the period is long, the assessee can go for section 54F exemption. This case is very important. At the end of this video, once again, I am repeating the name of the case. The name of the case is BIPINBHAI V Patel versus Income Tax Officer, and this case has been reported in 107 ITR Tribunal, short note 63. The matter has been decided by Ahmedabad ITAT C bench and the date of the judgment is 13th October 2023. This case should be read along with the definition of capital asset in section 2 clause 14 and 54F. Thank you friends.